All right. Hey guys, can you hear me? Please let me know in the chat. Got the AI stuff set up to do the streaming. It's looking correct on my end. I'm going to check some things. Hold on. Microsoft speakers are good. Maybe this needs to be video. Let me try this. All right. Yep. That's not working. Speakers. Microphone. Default speakers. Tech. All right. Test. Can you guys hear me? We're going live. Send the tweets, the notifications, we'll get going. Yes, cool. Thank you, sir. Yeah, Twitch has updated their software a bit, and then I recently got a mic, so I'm still trying to make sure it's sounding right. And then I'm using some AI filters through the NVIDIA stuff, so I just want to make sure it's all good. How are you guys doing today? Get the disclaimer stuff out of the way. This stream is intended to be used as educational purposes only. It's not intended to be used as financial advice. Hope you guys are doing well. It's been a crazy week. Christmas, holidays are coming around. We survived it. Had some crazy stuff. We were going to Dallas, in the middle of going to Dallas. Some of the family members started having like 102 fevers and sore throats, so we had to turn around. And then as we were turning around, we realized Grandma had our antibiotics for my two kids. So we had to turn around again to go get the medicine and meet them halfway there, and then turn around again, and then came all the way back home. So I ended up spending the night at my parents' house right before Christmas. We were on the road, I think, 7 hours, and my parents live 30 minutes away from our house. So that was a fun trip, fun trip. But got to go eat at Texas Burger, so that was pretty good. Haven't had that in a while. And if you haven't, it's worth a stop. I think there's only like 7 of them available. But anywho, let me see. Yeah, let me switch this up to let the Discord know. We are live. Cool. No, that's not the right thing. Hold on. Do I need to put the www? Hey, that is not right. Let me go fix that. Twitch. No? Twitch TV runner. That's working. There we go. Missed the HTTPS. Thank you for the follow. Let me delete this. View chat, view shows. So here we got here. I'll be honest, most of you guys in the chat, I don't recognize these names. So welcome to the stream. Welcome to Rainbow Trends, how we look at charts. You guys are blowing it up. Awesome, thank you. And that still rocks my ears every time that happens. Anywho, we got a lot of stuff to go over today. I've actually got some new stuff. The chart's been kind of boring. There's been some interesting stuff on Sol and stuff like this, and Tesla and like that, and we'll go over that stuff. But there's been a lot of news stuff I wanted to cover because I haven't been covering that in a while. And like I said, if you're new here, if you're curious why these charts look so different, this is all Rainbow Theory, and this is all Rainbow Trends, and that's how we trade. And if you go to our main website, rainbow-trends.com, you can read all about it, what we do, what we're all about. And we have our links to our free Discord and everything up at the top. Can't see it with the way I've got this Twitch stream set up, but so far we got the website going really, really well. We spent like 7 months on this, and even have whales and purples and rainbows. I'm really proud of it because it's not tacky. But anywho, Bitcoin is going the definition. Thank you, Slip. Of sideways. This is like as straight as Bitcoin gets, pretty much. And as with all Rainbow Trend stuff, we check out support and resistance, right? And we have support up top, or support at the bottom, resistance up top. Actually, that's the wrong color. Let me switch that to green. Right? And we've been ranging through this since November 9th. Wow, it's really been a long time. This is a lot longer than I thought, but this is basically all of the FTX fallout. For better or for worse, the Ponzi scheme is dead. It's trying to survive, and I've got some news on that I'm going to touch on, but this is hard to trade. We had a rainbow reversion here. We had some bottom signals with our tools. We had a double test of this pivot, and then we had a higher low, and then she went up and did a range high. But even this, even from like that bottom, this is only 13%. This isn't a lot. This is really, really hard to hit. It's not, for a month and a half, only 13% volatility. That's really not a lot for Bitcoin. This is the definition of straight. This is the type of stuff you get bored with. But frankly, it's the holidays. A lot of people are off, so it's understandable. It is what it is. But there is volatility. Today, we saw Sol get hit really hard. You can see the candles are covered in white. This is quite wild. Really normally don't see this much of an input on a coin, but Sol got destroyed today. It got all the way to $8, and shout out to Rick James in the Discord. He actually longed this here, caught it up here right before Vitalik tweeted. So Vitalik actually tweeted about Sol, and the algos did their thing, and this thing pumped up fast and hard. I think he got like a 200% trade on it, and it's just absolutely wild. Not recommending do leverage on this type of stuff, but that is what it is. But regardless, this is a SAM SBF related token. And if you're not aware about the FTX stuff, the head guy behind all of it is out of jail. He's on bond, and he's in the United States. And lo and behold, mysteriously, a day or two after, where is it? Yeah. 2 days after, or a day or two after, Sam Bankman-Fried got released from custody, Alameda ETH addresses started moving and changing, moving funds and funneling it. It looks like they're going around and scratching any wallet they had, and they're going and converting it all to basically Ethereum and then bringing it back to Bitcoin. So it looks like they're trying to scrounge up capital. But overall, not a cool look. And shout out to Ergo BTC for posting this, because this is really cool. And if you want to get in depth, I'm not going to go into wallet chasing. That's not really my thing, but the fact that Alameda all of a sudden starts moving their wallets after he's out of jail really upsets me, because the Ponzi scheme is still going as long as that dude's out of jail. There's pictures of SBF in the airport as well, where he's instantly on a laptop running businesses and things, and it's a shame. Because there's people that lost everything, and this dude's still messing around, which, frankly, I don't think any of that team should be allowed near a computer again. Also, SBF is getting some attention from the writer of The Big Short. I love The Big Short movie. I really do. But frankly, I don't like these guys getting attention. In all honesty, I think they should go away and be not part of the industry, and giving them movie star status. It's like, this guy will be at the red carpet of this movie when it comes out, and it's a fraud about him. So I'm not so big on that, right? But it is happening, and maybe in 2-3 years, maybe we'll get a crazy movie out of it. This definitely needs to be played by Jonah Hill, in my opinion. Pretty much everybody's opinion. And another thing that finally hit, a month later, the U.S. government is actually getting into the hack. So there was the Ponzi scheme, right? You remember where everything went belly up, but also like $372 million of funds got yanked out of FTX. Wink, wink, through a backdoor, wink, wink, hack, etc., right? How that's not really SBF, I don't know. because these funds started moving when he got back out of jail. So allegedly, we'll see if that's really true. But that really was concerning um, and unfortunate because there are people that are doing the right thing, trying to deal with the bankruptcy of FTX, and they need to get their funds back together to try to pay back all the investors and all the users as they can. But if SBF is still running around with money that's not really his, that's really, really unfortunate. Speaking of that, let's go check out FTT USDT. And bear with me, my keyboard is double printing like crazy, and I can't seem to figure out how to get it to work. So this thing bled out bad, obviously. Caroline famously talked about her $22 liquidation level, and CZ challenged it, and everything went to hell. It's now at 85 cents. So if you still have FTT, good luck to you. I don't think this is ever coming back. And frankly, I don't want it to come back. Sol was another part of that, right? Obviously, Sol is nuking now. Roughly the same patterns. Colors are a little hot on 4-hour, right? But this stuff is bleeding. So you're going to see a lot of whites regardless. Anywho, let's take a look at Ethereum. Get off some of the FTX stuff because it's frustrating. But it's the problem is people want to give him attention. They keep wanting to do interviews and all this other stuff, and it's just frankly upsetting to me. They need to leave and never come back. Not to quote Gollum, but yeah. Or no, was that? What was the other? He had two names. I forgot. Anyway, I'm just thinking of the part where he's saying leave, never come back, da da da, and he was trying to be good. Well, that whole team needs to be gone. And frankly, they're looking for Sam Trabucco. The United States law enforcement's trying to get that dude. Everyone else apparently is taking plea deals, but that dude's still on the run. Where he's at, I don't know, but I would imagine he's in a non-extraditing country at this point. Looking at Ethereum has had much more volatility than BTC. You're talking about at least 17% there to 26%. So there's been a lot more here. And we've had some really clean calls on the runner bot calling bottoms and tops. And we got some bottom signals here that got my attention. It started pumping, and I was watching this trend. So we started seeing higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. And then we kind of had a trend here a little bit with a retest of that support, but then she finally broke through. And now it's in the center, right? I normally don't draw a yellow or an orange one in the middle, but frankly, we're right in the dead center. This would be like the point of control for the most part. Yeah, you're dead between the 50s and the 50s on the liquidation levels. I don't like trading this because it's a coin toss. If we're down here, I have more of an advantage. It's going to mean revert up or potentially go to the top of the range. If I'm shorting up here, I've got way better odds it's going to come down. Just how markets work. But when we're in dead center, it's a coin toss, and I really don't like doing this. And this stuff is designed by the whales to chop you up. So be really, really careful. These little swings here are just eating people alive. So anybody who's high leverage or skittish, they're just pulling you out of your stops. Bam, 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 bam. I mean, frankly, like, look at this. One candle down. So in 4 hours, they shoved it down 3%, and then a few hours later, they cranked it right back up 4%. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but people who are like high leverage scalp trading, that scares them to death and liquidates them and eats them alive. So if you're trying to like DCA a spot bag with this with tight stops, it'll eat up every stop you've got. I mean, this is like, long story short, what I'm telling you is like, if you were getting chewed up by this, don't beat yourself up. This was designed to chew people. This is like literally 3 barks in a row. Now that I'm seeing that, looking at it, wham, wham, wham. It's designed to eat you alive. So, shout out to the F-Wells for pulling off those shenanigans. But the trend is kind of broken. We're not really doing the Bart Simpson stuff anymore. And now it's kind of the point where she's got to move and she's got to test something. Are we going to test the lower range, the high range, or some of these intermediate pivots? We don't really know yet. We're going to have to watch. And frankly, it's almost the end of the year. So maybe just go out, have parties, come back in January. I honestly think we're not going to have a real sense of direction until like mid-January. But I know that sounds a far out, but it's really not. But in the crypto world, 3-4 weeks feels like decades. So anyway, what's up, Viper? I have a big bag of Sol that I sold at 12. Need to put that into something else for the next bull and recover. Thinking ADA may be safe. I'm not a big fan of Cardano personally. Um, the smart contract upgrades they did was kind of not so hot. If you're talking like long term investments with like all the fallouts we've seen, so many of these coins falling out. Like the only real coins I think that I would actually put money on, like if you gave me the bet, what coin is going to be here in 10 years, still in the top like 100, I would probably say Litecoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and that would be it. Like if you go back and look at the top alts from like the 2017 run, most of them are gone. They're dead. Um, I'm talking like the top 10 like are gone. Like you still have Zcash, you still have like Bcash and stuff like that. They're hanging around in the top 50, 70, whatever. But for the most part, a lot of that stuff's gone. If you go look at like the bull run before that, like 2013, like you won't even recognize the names of the coins short of like Litecoin. Um, so Cardano, I don't think it's got staying power like a lot of others would like. The problem is it's already like made it into the top 10. So hold on, guys. I gotta take 1 second. So anyway, sorry about that. So anyway, Cardano climbed up into the top 10. So now, like the advantage is for it to fall out of it, right? It's really hard to stay in the top 10. The only ones I think that are definitely going to stay in the top 10, like in the next 10 years, are going to be like Ethereum and Bitcoin. That's the only two I would actually like bet on. Um, so that would be like my thing, and that's where like the Bitcoin maxis do the best in these long cold winters, like bear winters. Like it works out in their favor. Yeah, Bitcoin's going to pull back like 80%, but like some of these altcoins will pull back like 99, 95. Like, and that's doesn't sound like a lot, but there's a real big difference uh, going from that far, believe it or not. Um, and it's maybe not what you want to hear, but like, frankly, you're not going to know what altcoins at this point of the cycle are going to run next cycle. Like, it's just not in the cards. So, um, yeah, Bitcoin and Ethereum, that's probably like the only thing. I mean, capital's king too. There's nothing wrong with stacking cash right now or stacking sats if you want to stack Bitcoin. Ethereum as well. Um, that'd be my recommendation. Do your own research, obviously, but QT. Um, yeah, Slip. I agree. I don't think Ethereum's going anywhere, but you got to realize like ETH is dead. It's ETH 2.0 now, right? Like we got to really see. Um, we got to see where this stuff's going, right? Ethereum 2.0 has only been live for a very short time. Let me pull up the Ultrasound Money website, and I gotta not share my screen because I don't want this keyboard messing me up. Going to some weird site and getting banned again. So yeah, it's only been 105 days, so we're 3 months into this. And if you simulate proof of work, like people like, oh my gosh, Ethereum is not deflationary. Oh my gosh, there it is zoomed out compared to old Ethereum and Bitcoin. It worked. Needless to say, um, it's pretty cool. So we would be up 100. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Bitcoin. That's F. If we were still on proof of work, there would have been an additional 121,000 F, and so far there's only been 4,700 F produced in 105 days. So it's very efficient in doing what it's designed to do. Makes me sad though, because I have video cards that are just sitting in my house, not mining anything. So um, we'll see. I don't know what Lindley is, Slip. I think proof of stake's fine. Frankly, like if the Bitcoin maxis want to like toot their horn, yeah, I think proof of work's better um, on a lot of things. But I think proof of stake has a place in crypto. And if you're saying Bitcoin is the best proof of work, what do you care if Ethereum's not proof of work anymore, right? Like I like having both. I like having options, right? I don't want 10 versions of Bitcoin, right? Like I don't need Bcash. Uh, what's the other ones? BSV, Satoshi's Vision. I don't need all that. I just need OG Bitcoin, and I want some Ethereum proof of stake. All right. So, it is what it is. Oh, the switch to POS. Yeah, I mean, I was I was wanting to see what happened, and it worked. Vitalik pulled it off. We didn't have to reset. I mean, they were set up to where they could reset, right? So they didn't. It went through smoothly. Speaking of all that, let's check out Litecoin. Because Litecoin is a survivor. It's I don't know if it's ever going to hit an all-time high again, but it's been quite strong. We move that bad boy up. The the Bart Simpson did hit. It just took a while. Yeah, the mouth. She came down, almost hit the level to a T. That's kind of cool. And then we had this pump here. Look at all these well prints. Bam, 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 bam. And with Rainbow Theory, you see clusters of well prints. You better pay attention. But RSI rolled over, colors rolled over. We hit a pivot here, right? At $70, essentially $7.50. And then we got a top signal. And then she's falling back down. So unfortunate, but it's definitely not doing what Sol's doing. So that's something to say. So OG Litecoin at $66. I want to remember what the all-time high was. Is it only 400? Is it? Yeah, 420. No? Yeah, 416. So 400s was it. And frankly, I think we were on our way to do a great rate run, and then capitulation happened on the rest of the industry right before Litecoin got to have its day in the sun. So, is what it is. But Litecoin OGs, odd group of dudes, but they do well. And it's easy to trade. Like, you can see these bottom signals and top signals are great, but it is really slow normally compared to the rest of the coins. Right now, it's the past 2 months, it's been unusually strong. Normally, when Bitcoin and Ethereum are going down, Litecoin follows it. Lately, Litecoin's been doing the opposite. I mean, frankly, from a month ago, it's up. Not many things are up right now, right? So, we'll see. We can look at Cardano too. And I'm going to do another news segment. Yeah, Cardano's bleeding. This thing hit, I think, $4. I wouldn't touch it. She's not even going sideways. At least let it start forming a sideways trade range and then start the party, maybe. But anyway, what was another one? Oh, this was another good tweet I saw this week from Bob Lucas. So he's talking about like 2023 predictions, and he's thinking Genesis files bankruptcy protection early January. It becomes the catalyst for the Bitcoin bear market, 4-year cycle low. So he's saying like we're within a month or so of a true bottom. That 2023 is going to be really, really slow, and it very well might be. But I think we're close to a bottom, and I think this would be like, this makes sense to me, so I wanted to point it out. Why Genesis would file bankruptcy in early January, not in December, I don't know, but maybe if there's any lawyers in the group, maybe there's a tax advantage to filing for bankruptcy in January, not December. We'll see. I'm not really sure. Also, Hasaka has changed his profile description. I believe that's a degree symbol, which could be a reference to zero. People are speculating. We don't know, but he could be talking about Sol going to zero, which would be really cool. If he calls that, it's going to be awesome. And don't tell me it's already fallen 90%, blah, 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 blah. Everything can still go to zero, and there can still drop 100%. So even if you think I'm safe buying at $9, this thing can still drop 100% and eat you alive. So be very, very, very careful. Remember what happened to Luna. So, the DCG group. So this is the Zcash call. I posted this on the Trading Views ideas board, or not board, but the way you can publish ideas. There's a publish button in Trading View, and they've got like their own social media thing. So I started posting on this. And Zcash did a typical channel walk. Not a typical, but if you trade Rainbow Theory, we watch for channel walks, and we watch for the channel walks to break, because they typically free fall. They pull back a good 60-80%, and this thing is on track. We spotted this, we marked it, we got our cluster of well prints. This is now a quad well print, and then we drew our path down to the support. Now we're right in the middle of this support range. We'll see if it gets to this bottom one. That's the current call, is trying to get back in at 33. would be ideal. With the idea that it hits this and starts working its way back up. If we break through it, that's when you got to cut your ties and keep going and get out. So, since Mongo mentioned QNT, I'll go take a look at QNT. I haven't looked at this in a long time. I'm gonna switch to 3 hours. Good signals on the tops. Decent bottom signals as well. This is not that hard. This has actually got some decent volatility, and it's not scamming too bad. 30% swing from top to bottom. That's not bad. Bouncing in the channel walker bounce. Huh. Long term, I'm not so bullish on alts that I don't recognize, but it's actually gaining. That's not bad, dude. I mean, now maybe this season to start looking at BTC pairs. I don't really know. We'll see. I don't really trade that type of stuff, but BTC pairs in particular. Let me see what else is moving. DNT's up 20%. I don't know what this is, but this is definitely a scam wiki looking coin. With no volume, probably. Look at the volume on this. Boom. I wish I could get a bot to catch these like random scam pumps, because if you could ride these up and down, you'd be a king. But the problem is the liquidity is very, very low. So it's not like you can throw 100K at this price level. It'll instantly come right back down. CVC, I saw this one get nuked. Yeah. Yeah, so I was posting this in the Discord. I think I did some posts on Twitter last night about it. We lost this level here. We go to 1 hour. Oh, go to 1 hour. Or 2 hours, fine. Yeah. We have a pivot here, and we came through, and we actually cut right through it. And the whale print started showing up, so it was really, really bad. When you lose this bottom support level, like these bottom pivots, and it cuts through it, you got to cut your ties or flip short. It's not a time to knife catch and be a hero, and they are doing heavy, heavy, heavy selling on these. So even this bounce, they were selling heavily into it. So got to be really careful with this. It's not looking good. The other one I've been watching is Ren. I actually am trading this one. It's one of the only things I'm touching right now. So this had a very, very clean explosion that got pumped up 3 times. I think I started biting on this one, and I've had to DCA in a few times, more than I'd like, and it finally broke the channel walk, and then she's been bleeding out. There is a pivot, I think, on 30 minutes. Or is it 1 hour? Let me find it. It might be on 15. Let me go to Finance. Because that's got the best data anyway. Shout out CZ. Yeah, there it is. So there's a pivot here from this wick at 62 cents. And lo and behold, that's when the whales came out to play and defend it. And we had 4 whale prints show up. Boom, 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 boom. Trying to defend this pivot, not let price come out of it. Price bounced, and now price is coming back down again to test it. So if we lose 622, that's where I'm going to say we lost the pivot. We're going to try to come down to this one. And if this happens, it'll be a really, really nice trade. I don't know if it will, because you can see, like, this is a contentious price point. There's a wick here, a bottom wick here. So there's a lot of price action here, which means people are going to respect it. So if the bears want this, they're going to have to fight for it. And like I said, with all this like rainbow stuff, we can't tell you exactly where price is going to go, but we can definitely tell you where the bulls and bears are going to come out to play. And that's where the bulls and bears came out to fight. And that's what those whale prints are showing you. So not so good. Not so bad. If you're short or if you rode this thing up, congrats. This was a crazy trade. I only caught the back end of it trying to ride it on the way down, but it was a 44% move in like 24 hours. So if you're hungry and can stay glued to a computer, there is volatility you can trade. So let me see what's the next one. So another news thing, which is kind of interesting. Fidelity is filing trademark applications to bring an NFT marketplace and along with their Bitcoin and Ethereum trading stuff that they're going to be bringing on. So adoptions here, we might see NFT punks and Bored Apes on your Fidelity 401ks. It'd be pretty crazy. Like, can you imagine like HR actually going through like selecting which options they're going to allow Fidelity? It's like, are we going to allow Bored Apes and punks at the same time, or just punks? What do you guys think? Be pretty cool. Speaking of odd things, Kathy Woods is still surviving somehow, even though she's way down, and she bought a very large position of Tesla today. So, kudos to her for not changing her mentality and trying to, I guess, go down with the ship, but that's pretty ballsy. If you've seen Tesla, Tesla's bleeding. They're trying to margin call, I think, the loan for Elon. And if you follow my Twitter, this was one of the worst things we've ever seen Twitter or Elon go through. Typically, we get these ranges, we get the top calls, and these tops are normally like when Elon's actually selling, but this thing has been an absolute S show. And came all the way down to like 106 today, and it actually printed two pink RSI candles, which is like unheard of. But I wanted to show you guys this because this is, where's COVID? This is the COVID bottom. This was the 2020 COVID crash on Tesla. And look how deep it went into the rainbow, reversion rainbow. I'm gonna kill the liquidation levels because it's confusing. Look how deep it went, right? And it only printed purple RSI candles, which is the second strongest. This thing, right now, is nuking and printing pink RSI candles. So she's primed, I think, for a bounce. If Tesla's really not bottoms up dead, this is setting up for a crazy bounce. The one thing I'm going to want to see, because look at all this crazy selling. Bam, 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 bam. They're hitting it where it hurts. And then earnings are coming up in January 25th. Yeah, so that's a good ways out. But the point is if he survives this, you're looking at something that was technically worse than the COVID death wig, Black Swan, right? So, the upside is big, right? If we catch this at a range, I mean, you're talking like 40% plays, 90% plays on spot on Tesla. I don't know. That's the problem is Elon's got a lot of heat on him, right? They want Elon to hurt. How bad they're going to make him hurt, I don't know. And effectively, Tesla right now doesn't even have a CEO. Elon's messing around with Twitter, which is fine. Go do what you want to do, but the stock investors are not happy. Frankly, I still haven't seen the Cybertruck. I want to see the Cybertruck, just because it's the craziest looking thing I've ever seen. I can't believe it's... Well, I say I can't believe it's coming out. It hasn't come out. Neither has the Roadster, but we'll see. But regardless, pay attention to this. You can see these other drives. They hit and they bounce. They hit and they bounce. This thing's almost to the bottom band. And it's printing the highest colors. So rainbow-wise, this is telling me like, yeah, boy, this is where I really, really need to enter. I'm just saying this, we're at the end of the year. I'm a little skittish on this. But if we start printing some rotations on the colors and we actually get some candles that don't have RSI prints, really pay attention, right? Let me go back to the COVID ones. That's the most comparable. You can see we eventually got some candles here that quit printing X's. These RSI candles, they're my RSI tools. This one, let me bring it forward. Eventually it'll quit printing those, and then nature recovers, right? And this thing recovered. You're not going to catch the bottom wick of the bottommost candle, but this thing recovered 150%. So if we could get that timing, that'd be really, really sweet. But with that being said, you know, S&P's not looking too hot either. So if the S&P nukes, we can maybe bring this thing down with it. So let's take a look at S&P. It's a good transit. So If you are a subscriber to the RunnerBot, that's what these top signals are on the H4. And H4 RunnerBot is king on S&P 500. Don't mess with the settings. It's perfect. It loves S&P 500 on H4. The all-time top signal there was at 47.50, and the all-time high was 48.20. So it's really, really good. Not to toot my horn, but just saying, like, if you actually fire up these tools and use them, default settings H4, S&P 500, SPX ticker, money. We've come down and we've hit this support zone range from over here. And mind you, the data is messed up on this part of the tradfi. You can see where the volume gets all jacked up, but the pivots are still on. And the pivots there, we have a pivot order block, essentially. And let me draw the line across, because these pivots can't go all the way across the screen without crashing trading view. Let me switch the size up. And if I'm going too fast, let me know. Or if I need to back up. This is all about whatever you guys want to see. Hanging out, looking at charts, looking at colors. If you're colorblind, we can work with some grayscale if you need. But regardless, the point is, this top signal, free fill. This top signal, free fill. This top signal, free fill. This top signal, with a color rotation, going into resistance pivots. You can see all these resistance cluster pivots here. We have a resistance order block. Main calls them order blocks. That's essentially what they are. Shout out to that dude. He's awesome. I think he's pretty funny too. Because if you're going to go through a bad market with somebody, they better be funny. Let me move the main indicator forward. Also, shout out, if you start off with these tools and you're like, why aren't the colors showing? You always need to go to the main indicator, click these three dots, and go to visual order, and click bring to front. It always puts the colors behind the normal candles for some reason. But anyway, we got a top signal, and I don't want to ignore it. So I think we're going to get a retest of this range, and that's my current call with this little magnet here. So not to sound like I think it's Rookie XPT who does that. But I think we're going to get another test back down to 36.40, whether we like it or not. But we're also we're coming up on the new year, right? So some New Year's shenanigans may happen. Maybe Russia drops a bomb that splits atoms, or maybe Russia says no more, we're done fighting, world gets peace, and we get a huge rally because the world's no longer at war, right? Maybe we get some of that news. Who knows, right? We don't know. But we are coming up on an energy crisis, and as you know, I like to track oil because oil follows the S&P 500, and the S&P 500 follows oil, and oil's been falling lately. We've been going down really, really far, right? And also, shout out, man, we were here on the H4. RunnerBot was dead on the top signals. Don't fade those. But we're starting to get tops again, right? And we got another one coming up into this double pivot support area. So oil's maybe going to pull back. Looks like it. From a technical standpoint, it looks like it's going to pull back. From a fundamental standpoint, we got to really see what shakes out with Russia, because there's a lot of stuff going on with Russian oil that I think a lot of people aren't really focused on. Where is it? We'll get back to that one. Yeah. So you remember how a lot of people boycotted Russia oil? Japan is opening up their ports, and they're going to start letting crude oil shipments come in, which they haven't done in the past 6 months. So this is going to be a big, big deal if the world starts accepting Russian oil. I didn't think they would after all the stuff that the boycotting they did with Russia over this war. I really thought they were going to stand their grounds, and like even if Russia surrendered, it was still going to be an issue. But we'll see. Since I already covered it, and it had to have looked weird on stream. Crypto Twitter is one of the weirdest places I've ever seen. I don't know who this guy is, Cypherblade. I'm going to follow him. He apparently went through Huboy's KYC program, dressed up as Taylor Swift and Borat. Anybody who's willing to stream himself dressing up like Taylor Swift this is just great free content. I'm sorry, this is just absolutely hilarious. So shout out to that guy. I'm gonna make sure I like it. because this is just proving the point. This KYC stuff's just a joke, and there's a lot of allegations that this exchange is used for money laundering, so why not? Another one, Zcash blockchain has a spammer who's increased the size of the total blockchain 6x. So apparently, there's some spammer who's been turning this on and making the blockchain much bigger on Zcash, and I've heard some mobile wallets can't even crunch these numbers anymore. So they've shot it from 30 gigs to 180 gigs. But I'm going to meme it and just say Zcash is bigger and better. It's now up to almost 200 gigabytes. Bow down to the king, Bitcoin maxis. That's another one with Japan related. It's not oil related, but they're going to unban foreign issued stablecoins such as Tether. So maybe bullish. We'll see. I don't think there's a lot of crypto capital coming out of Japan in particular, but I'd love to be proven wrong. So, anywho, since I've got this on my mind, I do want to check low sulfur diesel. If you can tell, my keyboard is dying. And I'm very, very sad because they don't make this keyboard anymore. So pH, low sulfur. Where is it? It's got a giant ticker. There it is. DD Fuel Gulf. Hey! Diesel's on the rally back up. So if you have noticed, like, gas prices have fallen a lot, but diesel prices have not. Awesome that this pivot stuff works on this. Pivots matter. Rainbow automated pivots, can't speak highly enough because shit works. And it amazes me because the whales do it over and over and over and over again and people just ignore it. But anyway, diesel, we do need diesel to bottom with the S&P 500 to get a real bottom on the S&P. So if diesel keeps going up, this is recession fuel, but not necessarily bottom printing fuel. We want to see diesel bottom. And if we get a bottom on the diesel, we can get a bottom on the S&P roughly in a week or two. It's how we've seen it in the past. Will history repeat? I don't know. But the other thing is as well, remember our COVID crash that we had, what was it, 2 years ago? China's now really, really dealing with a really bad outbreak, allegedly. 250 million people have allegedly caught COVID-19 in China. If you don't know, they have a vaccine, but the vaccine is not very effective. So they're going through some issues. You got to realize all the other countries, they kind of had it run through their country, and we've got a lot of countries have like natural immunity. It appears that they don't have the natural immunity. They had a weaker vaccine, so they're really struggling with this. And should you care about COVID? Maybe, maybe not, but you should care about China dealing with COVID, because if they lock down again, your S&P is going to hurt. S&P is going to fall, right? We got our whole black swan over that. It can happen again. The market does not like instability in Asia at all. So keep that in mind. Say what you want about the virus. People shutting down countries over it definitely affects prices of all assets. So we'll see. This is another one, not related to anything crypto, but if we're going to talk firearm safety, I thought this was crazy. Someone was at a gun range and an empty case came down and actually landed on a primer of an open box thing of ammunition, and it actually detonated and went off. Luckily, ammo is not crazy dangerous if it's not inside a chamber, since it won't build pressure, but that's still absolutely insane, and I wanted to show it live because it's just, that's crazy. Absolutely crazy. And the guy's lucky he didn't get injured and that the whole thing just didn't detonate. I know one guy who was actually reloading and had a whole thing of primers blow up in his face. It's not a good look. Lost his eyebrows. Not helping him in the looks department, but it's all good. Luckily he had eye protection on, so he's all right. Just looking at some other ones real quick. What's up, Goldmark? Where do you see BTC shaking out over the next 6 to 12 months? I think we're definitely within the 6 months of it bottoming for sure. I think, but the market doesn't really care what I think. If like Bitcoin looks like it's trying to bottom, S&P looks like it's trying to free fall. So like if the S&P free falls, don't expect Bitcoin to just stand up. and not care that the world markets are crashing. Like, that's not in the cards. Absolutely not. Would love to be wrong, but it's super, super correlated. The S&P is insanely correlated to Bitcoin. So if markets crash into 2023, like, Bitcoin's going to have some struggles with it. So we may get more legs down. Now, with that being said, the Fed is at the point almost where they're going to start holding um, rates. They've got a few more raises in the FOMC meetings. They probably got, I'd say, at least two more rate hikes, because they raised their targets on the last meeting. They were only like one rate hike away from hitting their target, but they raised the target, and then they've said that they plan to hold it. So likely we're not going to get a official pivot on the Fed in 2023, but we are at the point where their 2023 is likely almost guaranteed that they're going to quit increasing rates at some point. So probably by Q1 they're going to wrap up rate increases. So that gives us the 2024 official pivot where they're going to start reducing Fed rates, and when the Fed rates reduce, we're going to start seeing like some bull market stuff, like almost guaranteed. Knock on wood. So 2023 may be a boring accumulation year. We'll see how everything plays out. Jerome Powell so far does exactly what he says he's going to do. So take note, like what he says in June, like happened in December. So what he's saying now in December is likely going to happen through 2023. You just gotta roll with the punches, right? So is what it is. We don't, Fed's going to do whatever the hell they want. They've made it very clear. Even with like the prior administrations, like Trump's administration leaned on them. And so did the Biden administration. They really don't seem to move much. At the same time, the Fed had a lot of meetings with FTX, I believe. So we'll see where all this goes. Allegedly, the Feds were, or the Federal, not Federal Reserve, the Powell's group, or not Powell's, what's his name? Gensler. Gensler was allegedly had an active investigation of FTX before it went down. So I'm really interested to see like how they're going to spin that one, because if Gensler had an active investigation for foul play within FTX and didn't warn American consumers, that's a big deal. Good luck spinning that one with the American public. Let me see what was some other stuff. Yeah, this was another one. If you talk about like, are we bottomed? So if you look at the Fred, this is the basically savings overall are back to the pre-COVID levels. So Federal Reserve's trying to pull us back to where we were to get the markets back in line and get inflation under control. They've got inflation allegedly turned. You can definitely see that in the data. Now it's just a matter of if he can get it back to the levels he wants. And I'm sounding pretty bearish, but here's some hoping for you. This was a good chart. This is Bitcoin over time. Number go up, just goes up a little less slowly. So, long story short, I hope that answers your question, Goldmark. And that's all the news stuff I've got for today. So we can chat and chill and look at charts, whatever you guys want. Let's see. I want to check Costco. Yikes. Costco hanging on support. Taking a look at Uni? Yeah, sure. Speaking of that, we need to look at some DeFi coins. I totally skipped that, didn't I? Let's hope Costco bottoms here. If they don't, it's going to be really, really bad. And I went to Costco during the freeze, and in the middle of us picking up prescriptions, like the pipe started bursting in the ceiling, and it was the fire suppression system, which is that water that never gets flushed. It's this nasty black water that stinks. They had to shut the whole place down and kick everybody out. So I took the fam. I was like, all right, Costco run's not going to work. Let's get the kids out of the house during the freeze. Let's go watch a movie. We go over to the movie theater, and water's pouring out the front doors. And there's a guy out front, poor guy with a pin pad, saying, hey, did you guys have pre-order tickets? Like, no, what's going on? Oh, our water main burst. And you could literally see there was like half a foot of water in the lobby of this giant movie theater. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I'm sorry. I had to ask him. I was like, is this the immersive experience for the new Avatar movie? Which he didn't think was too funny, but I got a kick out of it. And then he proceeded to tell me his waterproof boots had water inside them, and I said I had to pipe up again and say I'd like to challenge the definition of waterproof with you here, Buckaroo. Anyway, he was having a bad day, but he's a good sport, putting up with me. Let's take a look at Uni. Go to 4 hour. This sets up for a horizontal range, but then she keeps moving down, but she definitely has support. This is not an easy one, so bear with me. You've got essentially a support block here, and you definitely have a resistance block here. You see all these pivots. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 pivots on the H4 with a bunch of top signals and plus this color rotation. Then you have this one deviation where it's at the higher high, and then the whale prince came in and nuked it, right? So basically, Big Papa Bear came in and said, hell no, and they shot it all the way down. And this was a... See how far this fell. 40%, wow. Yeah, so Slip, to your question, if you get anything here and she comes back up, like, you definitely should be taking multiple profits, but like, this is your definitely like exit if you get in here. Like, I can't say price is going to go back up there, but if it swings off of this and does anything like it did here, right? Bounce, bounce, bounce. That's your freaking wall. We go down to lower time frames. We can probably pick up some mid-range pivots. Yeah, there we go. So, I would just manually draw this one. There. That would be like my other resistance range. I mean, if you want to get real conservative, this would be like, so let's zoom back out, right? You want to say bang on, this is support, and we make this, right? And we bounce. Which is fine, you can. That would be like TP1, TP2, TP3, and then anything above here's moon bags. Right, and that's fine. You want to do partial profits, partial exits. I don't know why it auto-corrects my drawings like that. But this thing's got... It's going to have to cross this channel walker for sure. Let me turn on liquidation levels, see if that gives us anything. It may come and tag that 5x. We'll see. It's close. So I would definitely set alerts below this. And see what it does and see if she comes back up. You don't know. But this is the part where you have to take the risk to enter to get the full freaking swing. Or you can wait for some love here. But you can see like the bull prints and the whale prints are already printing, trying to defend this and nuke it down. And they've already hit this freaking pivot 3 times on a 4 hour. That's 1, 2, 3, right? I don't like pivots getting tested because the more times you touch it, the more likely I think it's going to go through, right? So I'm not so big on that. So it's not screaming me that this is going to hold. This thing may break, and if it breaks, you definitely don't want to diamond hand this thing, right? So you got to be really careful. But if she does swing, right, and we get that, right, it's not going to be clean like that, but you get the idea. If you get an entry on that pivot, you're talking 14, 15% for TP1. You're talking 30% for TP2 and like 40% for TP3. Like, that would be an amazing trade. But we're going into New Year's. We have the weekly options coming up to an end. We have the monthly options coming into the end, and then we have the yearly options coming in and end. So like basically in the month, everything's going to be chaotic. So a lot of the stuff, the TA is going to get weird. So you got to keep the fundamental side. Like the TA looks right, but what does the fundamentals say? And the fundamentals say the yearly contracts are closing, and that's going to be a big change. So it's going to be a lot of stuff, and it may be bullish as hell, and maybe this stuff goes straight up to 40%, or it just falls off the face. Like you gotta see. Regardless, you're at the tipping point where the odds and the advantages are. She's going to come back up but you got to play it carefully. Right now, it's not looking so hot. It keeps testing, which I don't like. But if it holds and the bulls save it, we're good, right? But there's not a lot of volume here either, so it's got to take that into consideration. So, but since we looked at uni, let's take a shout out to Jared with sushi fish. It's most delish. Ugh, this keyboard, I'm so sad. It's double typing. Anytime I hit T, it shoots out like 2 or 3 T's. It's really upsetting me. So maybe I'll buy a Ducky keyboard next. We'll see. I have to have I do too much coding and typing not to have a mechanical keyboard. Because if I don't have the mechanical keyboard, I lose like 20% of my typing speed. First world problem, right? But that's why I'm such a big ThinkPad guy. If you see me posting about ThinkPads, I absolutely love their keyboards. I can type real fast on a ThinkPad keyboard and not break the computer. So I'm really hard on hardware. So this is actually looking decent. We've got a color rotation. Bam, bam, bam. We got a bottom print. It's a slightly higher low. So, but you can see we are below this bottom pivots. There's a double pivot here. Actually, there's a triple pivot. Triple pivot here at 98 cents, which makes sense. It's basically $1, right? So I don't like being here. We are below this support, but the colors are rotating nicely. The RSI is coloring in nicely. They're likely at least going to come up and test this again. And the signal is if she can break through this, buckle up, Jared. Jared's going to send it. That's the case. Like, that will go if it does. If she managed to climb out of this. But you're talking like we're going to be in 2023 likely before that hits. So it's setting up. But counter argument is if she goes up again and bounces off this and she can't take it out, you're going to start doing the same thing where it's walking down the reversion rainbow, right? Boom, 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 boom. Maybe we go to 70. Don't really know yet. So check out 1 inch. They're advertising on Facebook again. Not Facebook. They're advertising on... forget that exchange. Bitstamp. Awful data. Thank you for the follow. River Ruval. I can't say your name. River Ruval. That's a cool name. Sorry. So this is cool. 1 inch is actually printed a very, very nice white shove into the reversion band with some RSI after that. So that's really like 1, 2, 3. And now she took another hit. You can see where the bulls and bears started fighting at this level. So apparently 40 cents is a key level, but it died off. And then another bull showed back up. But the volume's really low right now. Not a lot of people are messing with this. So we'll see. So what could happen is if there's not a lot of volume here, this volume can get slammed with some monster candles and it's really going to move. And you're going to be potentially caught off guard if you're looking at like low volume data. But she's bleeding. This is not a good trend. When you look at the daily channel walker, yeah, she's just red as can be. So, but if she does bounce... would be nice to get up to like 45 cents. It'd be a really, really nice play. So let's look at Cake. So I love Cake. Not in real life. I just like the DeFi project. They got pancakes and bunnies. How could you hate that? It makes little pancake flipping sounds when you do transactions. So shout out. Cake's probably going to come down to this bottom pivot here at 28.51. Would be my guess, because this pivot has been broken. There's a pivot here. You draw it all the way across so you can see it. Yeah. So isn't that cool? Like, the whales had a pivot from this price point. This is in May 11th, 2022. And it only goes this far because, like I said, TradingView can only print them so far. So if you see it, it looks right, manually draw a pivot so it keeps going so you can reference it, right? Look at this. Like to the penny. Touch, 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 touch. Then it finally cut through it. That was kind of a test too. There's a secondary test. So pivots really, really matter, even if they're old. Like I've seen pivots from like 14 months ago get respected, like on a chart. You're like, why on earth do the whales care about that position to the penny from a year ago? But they freaking do. Even with like inflation and stuff, like not even calculated into this, they still defend the same price level. So you get the edge, the advantage, right? Like if you're a scalper, you know where they're gonna fight, like for sure. When they're gonna fight, we don't know. Who's gonna win, we don't know. But I can definitely get you in the advantage with the rainbow stuff to know when this stuff can bounce. So um, at least the battle. Who's gonna win the war, we don't know, but we definitely know where the battlegrounds are gonna be, right? So that's just how it goes. Even this, it's tagging the 25x on the liquidation level. It's pretty cool. Not to try and toot my own horn, I'm just trying to teach you guys, like, I'm not a scalper who hits these pivots, but it's there if you are that type of trader. You can see where these things are going to bounce. And if you turn all this stuff off, it does not make any sense why it's bouncing. It just looks like a free fall, right? But she bounced, and there's a reason she bounced. It's because of that pivot. So, food for thought. I try to make these things educational, and that's the better you guys understand the tools, the more you guys are going to beat whales, and the more we can level the playing field with the whales, the happier I am. What's another one? Cake, Uni. Who else? Cake, Uni, 1inch. What are the other DeFi projects you guys are into? I'm trying to think. I don't really know. So many have died, frankly, over this past year. Aave, that's it. That's the big one I was missing. Oh, this double type. Did I spell it wrong? Not two E's, that's why. This double type is driving me nuts. I'm about to just give this keyboard a full alcohol bath. Hope to God it doesn't break. Yeah, this Aave setup is nice. So, like I said, with the pivots, you know where they're going to fight, right? We were having a free fall here. We had some top signals. So the bots are telling you, hey, we're topping out. Color rotation. There's a pivot here, which they wicked into it 3 times and then it fell. Excuse me. So now, bam, 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 bam. We know where they're fighting. So I have a full-time job. I got 2 kids. I got 2 dogs. Just got a new puppy. I don't have time to watch scalps like this. But if you are that type of trader, long, you can do a lot of damage here. So same thing up here. You start getting into these levels where they're coming into a pivot. This is resistance, and then the bots are like the runner bot is telling you top. You get the color rotation. We're not really seeing a lot of RSI here. We can go to 2 hours and see if we see it there. Yeah, not so much. That's your top signal. You can start getting your shorts in. So we'll see. We'll see though, right? We'll see if this holds. This, to me, as a swing trader, this bad boy holds. That's what I want to see. And if I can get that, it's a 20% spot trade. It's not bad. But we'll see. This trend is still going down, trying to slam into this. So if she can hold it, that'll be even better. But the cool thing is it hasn't really shot any serious wicks through this pivot and held it. It's been absorbed back. They bought back into it, right? So as long as that holds, we're really, really good. If not, I'd be looking at a short position that's coming down to here. This wick here, that wick from the the FTX crash. So you'd be looking at a fall to there, which would be like, it's only 6%, but either way. If this breaks, though, I'm not bullish on getting this target back up into the 65s. I'm pretty bearish. I would see like a bounce, and I wouldn't bet on this going up to there. I'd be happy to be wrong, but it's not, the odds are just not in my favor at that point, right? Not to sound like, what's that movie? Hunger Games? Yeah. What's the ticker for magic? Is it spell? Or is it really magic? Oh. That's an awesome run. Absolutely awesome run. Punching these mean reversion bands. And these are the, if you don't know, this is the newer tool. These are the machine learning bands, the purple or the blue and the orange. Those are the ones that actually have machine learning built into them. And they freaking worked there, didn't they? That's so cool. But anyway, pinks shooting up into reversion bands. This is always a sell for me. Cut ties, take profit. And now nature is balancing. Runnerbot's having some issues with that there, but she's bleeding pretty bad. Pure whites, double cluster of well print. That's not good. It cut through that pivot, didn't have support. It had a little bit of support on this pivot, cut through it. And now it's testing the third one, and it's wicked through it, but price is coming back. So if price can hold, that would be a really good place for it to hold. Because if not, we're looking at this level here, and that's going to take some time to hit, because it's likely not just going to nuke through that rainbow band there, but here it did. So you can see this coin is pretty volatile. So if you look at like how volatile the magic whales are, the magical whales, they cut pretty deep into this reversion band when they want to, right? See this? Like a Litecoin whale is not going to do this, but a magic whale will. So the caveat here is if I bite and say this is my entry and I'm betting on it doing this, you have to keep in mind there's been other times where the magic whales have done this, right? So you got to be really careful with that. And if there's a machine reversion band down here, a machine learning band down here, that means they've nuked it past that before. So you gotta be careful with. Like coins I'm not too familiar with, you gotta be really careful with. Like they're normally lower liquidity, much more manipulated. You can lose a lot really, really fast. So we can check that. Yeah, Alpha dude, we did check Sol early on. It was one of the first coins we looked at, one of the first fives. What's Christmas mood? I just hit it. I've seen it. What is Christmas mood? I literally don't see a single thing on different. Unless it's saying the candles are red and green. Does anybody know what Christmas mode is in TradingView? Is there presents now? I'm not going crazy. There's a Christmas tree and it says Christmas mood. I gotta look that up. Christmas mood. TradingView. So apparently the lower button right corner at the intersection of the price time changes to a... Oh, that's lame. Okay, there it is. It's that. I'm sorry, but that's the... Yay, Christmas mode. I engaged. Turned it on. It's that. That's so stupid. I love you guys at TradingView, but I was expecting like snowflakes and like a reindeer running across the screen or something. Not that. Let me turn it off. All right. Sorry for that thing. I just didn't want to miss it because Christmas is over. Trade charts? Which trades you want to see? I just bought my wife an Apple phone, and I hate Apple. So let me go see where that money went. Yeah, it's still downtrending. We looked at oil. We looked at S&P. I didn't look at DGI. We can look at DGI. We looked at diesel. Housing's doing really bad too. I'm not a housing expert, so I just watch a few guys who do the news. But to me, it's not looking so good. But I think Apple's gonna wedge. Honestly, this pivot got tested. If this breaks early down, I'm really, really bearish on Apple. But my wife loves her phone, so shout out to those 8-year-olds creating iPhones for everybody for Christmas. Yeah, mortgages are still 6.5% for a 30-year. That's no bueno. I think oil's gonna be influenced by news. Japan's gonna start accepting Russian oil. I think next month. We covered that earlier in the stream, but it's there if you want to rewind it later. I'm trying to think what else. I do want to check Coke. Coca-Cola printed off a daily top. Coke normally does pretty well in a bear market. Actually, I don't think that's it. Is it cola? Yeah. No. Thought it was Coke, but that's the number. The price looks erratic, so I don't think that's it. There it is. No. Pepsi. Nah, whatever. Go to Microsoft. Yeah, Microsoft is challenging this support. It actually broke through it, got back above it. I don't like seeing that big of a deviation below a support range. Even if it gets a blip, I'm still pretty bearish. So I would be thinking maybe Microsoft comes back down to the 200 test, which is the support block here, which is like 190 to 200. KO's Coke, thank you, sir. Yikes, it's doing great. Look at that pivot test. 55. Bam, bam, gone. That's awesome. Coca-Cola really likes daily pivots, apparently. And you're going to get more pivots the lower the time frame you go. Just FYI. Stacks. Are you my golden retriever, bro, or are you a different Stacks? Are you so lean? The dog. What's up, bro? I do want to check Ford. Toyota as well. Yeah, Ford's not doing hot. Ford pulled off the double BART. Shout out to you guys, because you have a Bronco that everybody wants to buy but can't produce them. Because you can't get the microchips for them. This may actually be a really good point, but we had a channel walk down that broke up. Now it's done 2 BARTs. I've never seen this before. But we definitely, this support here at like 1060 is really, really good. So she very well may come up, and I swear if she does a 3rd BART, that would just be the dumbest damn thing. But welcome to 2022 where none of this makes sense, right? No, I appreciate you, Stacks. Good times. I got to get back into it. We're actually do some of the TA, some of the FA, some of the rainbow trends, news, memes, jokes, all that. Hopefully get some interviews coming in too. A lot of the guys that I had set up are on vacation, so we'll see them soon. I really want to get Altcoin Sherpa after he comes back from Mexico. he was he was asking like, what are some things to do in Mexico? I'm in Mexico City, and I was like, anthropology museum. Then go see the second biggest pyramid in the world the next day. And sure enough, he's got posts today from like the anthropology museum, looking at like the giant Olmec statues and all this cool Mayan and Aztec stuff they've got up in that museum in Mexico City. So hopefully he goes and see Teotihuacan um, today or tomorrow. It'd be, I don't know, if you like. We're gonna do a little deviation here. If you didn't know, the most massive pyramid in the world is in Mexico. It's not the tallest, but it's the most massive one. And it is freaking awesome. Teotihuacan, Pyramid of the Sun. They don't even know who built it. It predates the Aztecs. And I think it was 15 years ago, I actually went and visited this and climbed to the very top. At the time, and I think they still do, they let you climb to the top. And it's absolutely insane. And there's pyramids all around it that are aligned and shaped to the solar system. So this is the sun pyramid. There's a moon pyramid, an earth pyramid, a Mars pyramid. It's absolutely mental. Um, and like it's even in like written in like the Mayan or Aztec documents. They're like they were aware of this, but they had no idea who even built it because this was all abandoned when they showed up. So it's pretty cool. Highly recommend it because you see some of these like crazy Paleolithic stuff that we just flat out don't really have a lot of that in the United States, but in Mexico it is rocking. Some of the coolest stuff I've ever seen is down there. But anyway, it's not crypto, but it's cool. I like the old uh, ancient stuff. Like the scale of this is hard to believe, like until you actually stand in front of it. So maybe one day I'll get to go see the Egyptian ones. I'll also get to go see some of the whatchamacallit, the China's got some crazy ones too. And it's cool too. It's like a lot of this stuff, man. We saw it like in person. Like there's no freaking tool marks. It's nuts. Really cool stuff. But anyway, back to the charts. Talking about pyramids. I could talk for hours about the pyramid stuff. It's so cool. So I spent probably 3 months of my life in Mexico, backpacking all around it. Back when me and my wife were dating. Good times, and I miss it. It was before the country pissed off all the cartella, so it was a bit safer. I'm trying to think, what other trade fight do you want to look at? Look at, bud. Look at Amazon. Carl Monk, the code, best pyramid knowledge. I'll take a look at that. Let me copy that. If not, I'll DM you. So I'll forget it. Carl Monk. Let me throw it in the work one. Yeah, I mean, like, I've been to the Coliseum and stuff too, and like, you can go underneath the Coliseum, like where they used to keep like the workers and the animals and stuff like that. And there's these just ungodly sized support stones. And I remember walking up to these support stones that were like at least 8-10 feet wide, and you could take a business card and try to put it between the stacked blocks, and you can't, like there's no gaps and there's no mortar. They didn't use any cement or anything. Like the damn things are perfectly level and they're sat on top of each other. It was really cool. So this is sad to see on Amazon considering Santa, but this is your COVID dip, and I don't know, but Amazon's basically Santa to me at this point, delivering all the packages to our house. But there's your COVID wick, and we're down to that COVID support level. So this is a really interesting price point, $81.38 for Amazon. Now, if that thing breaks, I'm gonna get really skittish. Not a big fan of that. Actually, that's not the COVID one, is it? March 2020? Is that it? No, it's not 2008. No, it's not 18. It's 20. So that is the COVID wick. That's been hit a few times. So yeah, $80 may be a really good time to load up on Amazon. Let me check Visa. What? This is really weird, PA. This is like low cap crypto PA. Apologize if you can hear the puppy barking. Homies, if you guys have any recommendations how to potty train a 3-month old blue heeler mutt from the pound, please let me know. This thing's peeing every 20 minutes in the house, and if I take it outside, it won't pee all the time. And then I'll bring it back inside, and within 2 minutes of being indoors, it'll pee again. And I just, Magoon, check demons. Code. Par amongst the code. All videos enhanced. Awesome. Thank you so much. Some random. People sending me random stuff. Sorry, I've got my DMs are nuts. And shout out to the Bing X guys. Please leave me the F alone. Or not Bing X, who is it? Mexi, please leave me alone. I'm not interested. I think I'm up to my 35th person or something like that trying to make me become a Mexi affiliate. Maybe the greatest exchange ever. Maybe, I don't know. But if I ever do an affiliate, it's going to be with Kraken. Because why not? But back to your thing, Visa. These 12-hour tops are really good. Your pivots are definitely hitting. With everything, you want to see what parts of like the rainbow theory hits, and once you find like the time frame, the colors, and the whale, like how your whales really react, stick with it. Sometimes they really like the RSI, sometimes they really like the pivots, sometimes it's the runner bot is the best thing in the world. You just never know. But you got to see what they like, because every whale is different. Like, and they're king of the castle for their skills, and you got to know what that castle is. It's really in the middle here at 208. You have a mid-range thing here and a bottom range here with support with a deviation here, but it did tag that pivot there and got back up. So Mexi's decent. They might. I mean, like I said, I don't know anything about them. I just know they will not leave me alone, and I've asked them like put me on a do not disturb list. I wouldn't touch this one, Stacks. I would wait for it to come here. Sucks is I don't like trading in the middle. That's frankly, this thing's really range bound. Is there? Hold on. Is there this? Maybe it's gonna bounce off that. That could be the wedge ore. I've seen this before, where it comes out of a drive like this and it just starts going wham, 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 wham. I've seen this before, but it's with low cap alt. It's not with like Visa. It's not a big S&P 500 company, so I'm really taken back by it because we're on 12-hour candles here. So this is like big moves over longer periods of time. Like you would see this on like 30 minutes or hourly candles on a low cap. I'm kind of thrown off by it. The colors are working well though, but you can see like every time we came up to a purple blue rotation, it fell. And now it's doing that there, so maybe this time's different, but I don't know. I mean, people's savings are going down and credit cards are going up. Maybe it's bullish for them. I don't know. They've got earnings February. What was their? That's a dividend. So dividend was 45. So they're doing all right in a bear market. The only thing that's really thrown me off is this is a really nice curve. So she may come back up and then retest. You know, can you see that? Like it's a real clean curve. It's not choppy like this. You see how this is chop, 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 chop wicks? This is really pretty. But I think definitely the target is this triple pivot here at 190 to 186, which is weird that there's not a 200 pivot. You would expect to be a pivot here. There is at 202, but not 200. So I'll draw it. Speaking of target, I feel so bad for these people. If you actually read the financial reports on Target, they're literally like, yeah, a few quarters ago, all our profits basically got erased by inflation. And then the recently quarterly reports like, yeah, all our profits basically got taken away from us because of shoplifting, which is just awful. Like if oh, it's just a big corporation, but someone built that. Someone's losing their jobs over that, and they're going to be doing layoffs over freaking shoplifting. So I don't know. Maybe I'm biased. I just don't like stealing in general. Whether it's FTX or people robbing targets for PlayStations, I don't know. Because it costs everyone, right? Like you rob from Target, the prices for everything else are going to go up in Target. Like it's a net neutral. They pass those costs along. Trust me. you want me to do? You want me to do forex, which it's one of the only things I will say does not work on Rainbow Trends. Is forex. I've only had to refund one client of all time ever, and it was a guy who wanted to do automated forex, and I flat out I spent 2 weeks telling him like how this stuff works, what it is, and he's like, I want to focus on forex. And I said, don't get Rainbow Trends then. Stay away from Rainbow Trends if you want to just trade forex on low time frames, because he was wanting to trade like he was literally wanting to trade forex pairs on like 5 minute candles, and I was like, dude, it's not set up for this. Um, we can really do some tweaking and try to get you there, but it's going to be really hard to do. Um, I'm trying to do it now on 5 minute Canadian CAD JPY. Even here, I'm struggling with this type of time frame. 15 probably be, yeah, 15's all right. But anyway, I flat out told the guy, don't spend your money here. You need to go look elsewhere because what you're doing is such a niche thing. Um, you know, we're more about this. And he still bought it and then got mad at me a week later about it not doing what I told him it wouldn't do. I even told him like the runner bot at the time, it was just the take profit bot. He wanted entry signals on the take profit bot when I told him it doesn't do take. At the time, it didn't do take. It didn't do entries. I was like, it doesn't do entries. Well, where's the buy signal? I was like, I told you it didn't have one. Well, I need one. I'm like, well, that's great, bud. So I'm going off the rails there with that story, but it was quite interesting. I told the guy don't do it. He went and did it, and then he wanted his money back. So I refunded him, but I just told him I was like, all right, say it in writing. You want your money back because it's not doing what I told you I said it wouldn't do. And he said, yeah. All right. It's going to be about 2 weeks to be refunded to your part of the world with the credit cards, but I'll start it today. And then he hounded me every day for 2 weeks till the money went back. I don't even know what to think on this, Stacks. You got me thinking, is Canada doing better in regards to Japan? Japan's struggling with inflation really, really bad, but Canada's not doing so hot either. I mean, if you just want to TA this and you told me it wasn't a currency, I'd be looking at this to get long. I'd be shorting until I hit it, but that's going to be at least late February, March to get there. You can thank Amazon for all the shoplifting. Like from people's front porches? Japan may be going off Abenomics, maybe. Yeah, I saw they had to do some emergency procedures recently this week too. I'm not fully up to speed on Japan stuff though. I'm more up to speed on 1990s Japan domestic import vehicles as well as their motorcycles, but I mean that's a clear rotation, right? RSI hot colors, the colors are fading, and then you have a lower high with weaker colors, and then she nuked. Yeah, I don't like how the data is wonky. Let me try. Hmm. I'm real bullish on Amazon long term. Bezos is. You can make fun of him all you want. I've had stuff delivered same day that's really obscure. I've had parts I could not find in any store in my city for my air conditioner unit. Amazon had it. Had it to me the next day. JPY. Race. Apologize, my keyboard is messing up, but just for your record, Stacks, it Discord flagged you and asked if that was an appropriate term to let you type in the chat. JPY USD. And that's the other thing. You got like you got the we haven't looked at DXY. This is just making me think of the DXY. Oof. Just good. We wanted DXY to topple, right? We definitely wanted that. But there's a channel walk going on for sure. And if you don't know, DXY has been going parabolic since, for what, 12 months now? Since January. Let me turn log. Well, log doesn't really matter on that. And this parabolic curve is broken. And it just started to do a channel walk down. And it's looking like it's starting to break the channel walk. Which is not good, because if this thing rocks and rolls up, the S&P is going to go down, and so will Bitcoin. So I want to see this thing fall, but it looks like it's doing the thing where it challenges it, breaks out, comes down and kisses it, gets a retest, and then goes. Pantalga, what's up, my guy? I apologize. I got both my golden retriever bros in the chat, and I didn't buy a golden retriever this week. But frankly, I went and looked at every single dog they had at the pound. Wasn't a single golden retriever there. Had a lot of other interesting breeds, but no golden retrievers. Cat tells me DXY is going up. Which one? CL207? Goldens get snapped up. I'd imagine they can make those damn puppy eyes like you wouldn't believe. Yeah, you keep talking about another cat I'm not too familiar with. Can't say here. That's good. We'll keep it low key in the private OnlyFans Rainbow Trends Discord. But the cat tells me the DXY is going up. I think it is too. This is definitely controlled and going through this, and she's breaking sideways, and there's a pivot here, so I think it's going to start working up. My goal the whole time was to see the 118, the 120 hit, and then that was going to be lights out. That's where the Fed was going to really stomp the hell out of it, but we never got there. We only got up to like 115. So, which was cool though, because if you actually go back and look at the Rainbow Trends tweets, we talked about this so much, and it freaking played out to a T. So it was really cool. So I'm not crazy familiar with DXY, but the colors were there. We were able to navigate it. Can't say here. That's a bingo. Let's see. Bcash. We haven't looked at Bcash. How's Ver doing? Wishing him a Merry Christmas. If you're not familiar, Roger Ver was the guy who tried to single-handedly kill Bitcoin and almost did it. But never trust the guys with awful hair or hair that is too clean cut. Roger Ver falls into that shadow where he's definitely not getting his hair cut at Sport Clips. So definitely don't want to trust that guy. But like Charlie Lee's like right in that sweet spot where he could be going to Sports Clips. But he's definitely not paying for like $500 haircuts. So, anywho, just got back from a late night walk with mine. We'll probably never own another breed, to be honest. How many golden retrievers have you had, bud? That one in your profile picture is a sweetie. And I don't even know if Stax has a golden retriever. I just know he likes to think he is one. But if you don't know, Pantolga has got the cutest damn PFP of a golden retriever I've ever seen. And sadly, she's no longer with us. Let me grab that. Eat your heart out, Stax. Yeah, that's a cutie. Ours is driving me nuts. She bites everything. She's a healer. So she heals, she chases the kids and nips at their ankles, and the kids just start screaming. But we will see how everything works out. I think she's going to be okay. Let me see if I can find it. Where is it? There she is. So this is our little toot. We don't have a name for her yet, and I asked for names on Twitter, and I mistakenly didn't say it's a girl. But anyway, welcome to Rainbow Trend Stream, where we focus on pups as well as whales. USD BRL, we will. But anyway, we still don't have a name for her, unfortunately. Nothing really works, so I just call her Pee-Paws at this point because she pees everywhere. USD BRL. Oh, this damn double type. Freaking heartbroken because they do not make this damn keyboard anymore. It's a really rare keyboard. I got it on sale at Fry's, rest in peace, for like $50. It ends up being like a $200. Holy cow. They were just clearing out this keyboard, and I freaking love it. I absolutely cannot stand my Corsair keyboards. So either I'm fortunate or unfortunate because I really like this thing and I can't get them anymore. Actually, I'm going the wrong way. Let me increase the hell out of this whale prints because this is way too noisy. The data must be jacked up on the volume stuff. Throwing that part of the equation out. Yeah, I can't even freaking make that work. Yeah, the data's jacked. Let me manually kill this. Normally you can type in 999 and that'll get rid of the whale prints, but you can also go back here into the style and go click, click, and make it disappear. So this is actually more tradable. This actually looks like a freaking FBTC pair chart, but check out these top signals. What is up? I'm going to post this on Twitter later. So you have a support block down there. You have a support block there, right? I'm going to state the obvious always because there's new people here. But The key thing is here's you see the stacked pivots, you see these top signals on fire. Pay attention because it's going to stay like that until it obviously quits, but it could stay like that for a long time. But pivot, pivot support, new pivot support, pivot, pivot support. There's a little bit of support there and resistance there, and then it's pivot support, pivot support, pivot support, right? Now we're kind of in the middle, right? So it's not, I hate making a long or short here because I'm in the middle and I don't like to coin toss, but we could get an easy confirmation or rejection if we get a move down or up out of this, right? Because this is a really tight range. So once you see the move, maybe it'll be obvious. But I would wait for it. I wouldn't try to rush that, and I definitely wouldn't be trying to get it in before. I'm sorry, Cheeseburger. I'm very sorry. I got a K, maybe a K95. It's a red Corsair with the same mechanical red cherry switches. I couldn't stand it at first. And then I figured out they had a rubber waterproofing layer underneath all the keys. So I had to manually cut out the waterproof layer because it was making the action feel weird. And then I had to turn the spaceboard back, or the space key backwards. I'll show you the one I love. And I just absolutely slammed the crap out of keys. Hopefully you guys can't hear it anymore because I've got the AI. So speaking of that Pentalga, mic check. So this is the one I'm crazy about. It's a Cherry MX board 6.0, but it's actually made by the company that makes the key switches that everybody likes. It didn't even get really good reviews back in the day. Like, it got a 78, but I freaking love it. I got it for $50, and they didn't sell that many of them because they were really expensive. And there were other ones, I guess the other people loved it, but this is my bread and butter. If I'm not typing on a T430 for Rainbow Trends coding, it's this. But anyway, I digress. It grew on me a little bit, and that's what I use at work. But I prefer this one. It's got a nicer palm rest too, but the keys are much. It's the exact same switches, so they're both cherry reds, but the ones in the actual cherry keyboard are much smoother. I don't know why, but I type so loud and so hard on the keyboards. I think I'm at the point where I'm breaking the switches on this one, and I've broken a bunch of the keycaps. So, but the way the Corsair board curves as well, like the keys, the profile, I don't like it as much. But I type with the keyboard completely flat. I don't use the risers, so I'm a little off compared to what most people do. But anyway. Thank you, Pantoga. I'm typing away. Hopefully you guys don't hear it. So now I'm searching through some other stuff. But I'm going to have to wrap it up real soon. Wife's dealing with the pup right now, and I got to go help her. But thanks for hopping on. It's been a pretty long stream. We seem not crazy numbers on the stream, but we'll keep it up and try to get more of you guys on here and be more consistent with the timing. And if there's anything I'm missing you guys want to see or add, please let me know. I'm not stubborn on what we look at all. No keyboard. That's awesome. I just want to make sure my voice isn't cutting out either, because the AI NVIDIA streamer stuff, if you crank it all the way to 100, you definitely can't hear typing. But my voice will cut out eventually, so I've got it at like 60% right now. More gold charting. You got it, buddy. Petco. Oh, is it not publicly traded? Is it Woof? Oh. That's awesome. Petco's in the dumps, unfortunately. In a bad trend. It's Woof. I'm sorry. Hold on. Is there a meow? Here's a crypto. I'm sorry. I was expecting PETC or something, but not woof. Wrong woof. That's freaking funny. Is there a bark? Rawr. Nope. Someone needs to make a crypto. That's that. That's awesome. Anyway, I gotta get going, guys. Much love all around. Thanks for stopping by. Like I said, note, a lot of people don't know, if you go to the actual website, we have free tools as well and a Discord with no paywalls. So definitely check out the main website, Rainbow Trends, rainbow-trends.com. And you can sign up for the free stuff and you'll get the links to all the free tools here with the free subscriptions, as well as if you want to go for the other indicators, they're there too. And then the link for the Discord's up top too. So definitely go bum rush the Discord and come hang out. But let's go see if there's anybody worth raiding, and then I have got to call it for the night. Twitch. Let me see. I think Kimba's on. Do that. He is. Let's raid Kimba. K1M6. I will, dude. I added you on Twitter, so I'll make sure to hit it up. Amaranth? Nah. I do have a hot tub, though. We could do a hot tub stream one day. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Show Kimba some love.